It was 2005 when the federal government of the day walked away from negotiations surrounding the Douglas Lake land claim for 18,000 acres. We're talking Commonage and why it matters to you. Longtime band councillor, former chief, Scotty Holmes is with us today to share more light on where these negotiations stand. And in fact, Councillor Holmes, there is a flicker of hope that maybe something can happen here in the not too distant future. Bring us up to speed on where these talks are and where they may be going.
Okay, yeah, there's a good hope that I think we'll be back on probably on the table in the next maybe 2 or 3 months. It's good because I think the political approach that we used now since they walked off, a lot of work with the senior organizations like the Union of BC Chiefs, the AFN, BCAFN, and even a lot of letters and discussions with the various ministers, both provincially and federally, because the negotiations is kind of spearheaded by federal negotiations, but the province is also involved because that's where the land is that we talk about is in the province. And of course, Douglas Lake Ranch is got deeded land to the Commonage. It's not a large area comparative to maybe a land claims issue. So if we were looking at a land claims issue, we'd be looking at the whole nation. Here we're looking at a smaller version of that. And it's based in our area of interest with Upper Nicola. Of course, we're all part of the nation anyway, so that's kind of the idea here.
I'm detecting a tone of hope in your voice. Is that tone based on anything, any signals coming from the current federal government, or is it the fact that, hey, finally, we're talking again?
There's a whole lot of things that puts hope into this. When we were doing the 2005 negotiations, a lot of the case laws that are recent were not around, and now these kind of case laws make it more legally binding and makes it more legally a legal obligation, both with federal government and ourselves. But also, I think in the most recent time, even though it may not be a full-pledged use of yet, but we've got Bill C-41, which is a provincial legislation that came into play that we didn't have then. And then we also have Bill C-41, which is federal legislation. And so those two legislations have a lot of room that we didn't have before. And finally, I think we also have what we call the UNDRIP, the United Declaration. And so those kind of things are really, it's up to us to take lead rather than follow government process.
So to the general band membership who may not have been following this as closely as you, of course, tell them how this matters and why it will matter that there becomes a resolution to this at long last.
The land bank is the focus always, and it'll continue till we get all our land back. And so here, this is an opportunity for us to get that land back, which is, as mentioned, is 18,553 acres. Now, the other part of this, thinking about it in terms of the land back, then it's our control. It's how we use it. Then we don't have to be begging entries or use of that area as we have now, right?
For fishing and for hunting and for whatever reason that, or for whatever purpose that the band sees fit and its members.
Yeah, then you have the full value of the use of your cultural practices that the way you see fit. So it's a stepping stone to bigger pictures. The success that we put into this is beneficial to not only ourselves as First Nations in Upper Nicola, it's a large benefit to everybody.
Generational.
Yes.
Yeah, big picture, and there is hope. You've brought some good news today. We're going to stay in touch with you on this. We're going to do further updates and make sure that everybody knows how those talks are going. And like you said, maybe, just maybe, you're on the right path again.
We've now got government officials willing to work on an independent process rather than their made process. So it's really up to us.